In this tutorial, we will be making this circle seamless pattern in two variations. One will be a multicolour pattern, and I'll also show you how to convert it to any one colour. And as usual, I'll show you how to template it so that you can easily remake this pattern over and over again in any colour combination of your choice. Let's start by setting up our canvas. Once you open Procreate, tap the plus icon at the top right of the screen and select the new canvas icon. Here, we will set the dimensions of our canvas. We can set this to 2000 by 2000 pixels. Although you are free to choose whatever dimensions suit you depending on your project requirements or device capabilities. Once done, we will check that the DPI is set to 300. Next, tap the Colour Profile tab on the left-hand side of the screen. If your pattern will be used for printing onto textiles or products, it is generally best to choose a CMYK colour profile. And if you are going to use your pattern for motion graphics or any element that will be used for a screen, then it's best to use the RGB colour profile. When done, tap the Create button at the top right of the screen. This tutorial will use a 5 colour combination. These can be any coordinating colours of your choice, but if you'd like to use the same colours I am using, then I will place the colours on the screen and in a description box in both the RGB and CMYK colour codes. We will now set up our colour palette by tapping the Colour button. At the bottom of the Colour pop-up window, tap Palettes. Then, tap the plus icon and select Create New Palette. We can tap and rename the palette to Circle Pattern Colours. Now we can select our colours by using the disc colour selector, or if you want to input the colour codes provided, you can by tapping the Value tab at the bottom of the colour window. You can then input the code inside the box alongside the hexadecimal setting. Be sure to add each colour to your new palette before selecting or inputting your next colour. Once you have all your colours set, we can then set up our brush. For this pattern, we're going to use the built-in monoline brush. So let's tap the brush icon, select calligraphy, and then select monoline. Make sure that your brush size is set to max and that opacity is set to full. Now we're ready to start creating our seamless circle pattern. Staying within the canvas borders, draw a complete circle and hold. And without lifting the pencil, use a finger on your other hand, tap and hold the canvas. This will create a perfect circle. You can also scale up the circle at this point, making sure to stay within the canvas boundaries. Then keeping your finger held down, release the pencil first and then release your finger. Now tap the Transform tool. Inside the Transform settings, we want to have it set to Freeform. And inside the Snapping settings, we want Magnetics and Snapping on. And we also want Distance and Velocity set to max. Extend and snap all 4 sides to the perfect edge of the canvas. Use the orange guidelines to help with this. Then we can tap the Transform tool to deselect it. Now, drag the first colour into the circle and without lifting the pencil, swipe right to fill it entirely. Then, tap the layer icon, swipe left on the circle layer and duplicate it. Select the first one, then hide and lock it. Now tap the plus icon to add a new layer and tap and rename it Background. Fill the background layer with your chosen background colour. Then tap the layers icon and tap on the visible circle and duplicate it. Now add a new layer and set to clipping mask. Fill this layer with the second chosen colour. Merge both the top layers together. Repeat this process again by duplicating the new circle, add a new layer and set it to clipping mask. Fill the layer with the next colour and merge the two top layers. Duplicate the top circle, add a new layer, set to clipping mask. Fill this layer with your final colour and merge them. To save as a template, group the 4 circles by swiping right on the remaining circles and tap Group. Tap New Group, swipe left, duplicate the group of circles. Go back to the first group and collapse it, then tap, hold and drag it underneath the background layer. Then lock and hide it. This saves you having to make the circles again, and you can use the clipping mask method to perfectly recolour your circles for any future projects. Now we'll work within the visible duplicated group. Tap the Transform tool and select Uniform. Tap the Layers icon, select the first circle and tap the Transform tool. And scale down to the bottom left quarter of the canvas. Tap the Layers icon and select the second circle. Then select the Transform tool and scale down to the top right corner. Go back to the Layers icon, select the third circle and scale down to the top left quarter of the canvas. Then tap the Layers icon again, select the fourth circle and scale down to the bottom right. Double tap New Group and flatten. Duplicate the flattened circles 3 times. Scale each layer down to each of the 4 corners. And then merge all 4 layers. Repeat until you have the scale you want. You now have a multicoloured circle pattern. However, we can also change our pattern to be only one colour. Do this by duplicating the pattern tile, then add a new layer. Fill this new layer with any colour of your choice. Tap the Layers icon, Set the coloured in layer to clipping mask, then merge both layers. Use the clipping mask method to change the colour as many times as you wish. You can group these remaining layers for an organised and tidy workflow. I hope you enjoy your newly created pattern, and if you found this tutorial helpful, be sure to check out my other seamless pattern tutorials. They're easy to follow and will help you expand your growing collection of designs. So be sure to join me for more creative fun, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and bye for now.